Dang, you caught me mid-sniff, Rogers. That was my bad. That was my bad. It wouldn't be the Patrick Netherton show if everything was just hunky-dory. Hey, everyone. It's the Patrick Netherton show right here on 1130. The Tiger, Rogers, and Patrick. That's us. As we got a lot of stuff to discuss. Hambone and I went to the fair, so we will get into some of that. And we've got some other stuff we need to get to as well. I'm sending out the share and sharing the stream right now. I want to do that real quick before we get going. So it's been kind of an odd day to say the least. Hope y'all have been good. Hope everyone's been okay. And it's one of those deals, man. It's one of those weird times of year, and strange things happen. So let me send this out, and then running up that hill, Rogers. Yeah, no, you're right. Stranger things, Rogers. All right. Everything is posted. We are live. If you're not watching on the live stream, please do. Go follow that. Because, Rogers, we got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Oh, my gosh. That was the loudest breaking news I've ever heard. All right, breaking news, and it's not good news. So, as a matter of fact, Rogers, just to make this a little easier, I'm going to read this straight from the release from the Northwestern State Office of Public Relations. Northwestern State University announced today that it has canceled the remainder of the 2023 football season due to the recent passing of junior safety Ronnie Caldwell. The school cites the mental health and well-being of its student athletes as the primary reason for its decision. The school has also accepted the resignation of head coach Brad Laird, who was in his sixth season as head coach of the Demon football team. President Marcus Jones talking about the death of Ronnie Caldwell. Ronnie was a beloved member of our community. We miss him dearly. While our instinct was to return to the field to play following his death, we've since learned that the hurt on our team was too deep. Now it is in the best interest of our players, coaches, and staff to pause and to take this time to mourn, to heal, and to support Ronnie's family. Brad Laird on his resignation, quote, "Due to the loss of Ronnie and the emotional burden it has caused me, I don't feel I can give my all to these players or this program. Any coach will tell you that their players become like family, so the loss of Ronnie was like losing a son. I love this program and this university, and I know it will persevere and move forward with the competitive spirit that is at the core of our DNA." Athletic Director Kevin Bostian, quote, "We appreciate Coach Laird's long-term investment in Northwestern State football. From his undergraduate time as a record-setting quarterback to his years spent overseeing the university's alumni office to coaching, he's been a vital member of the team. While we're disappointed not to be able to finish the season, we're confident that better days lie ahead for Northwestern State football." Assistant head coach and defensive coordinator Weston Glosser will step in as interim head coach while the athletic department begins an immediate search for the next head coach. There you go. So, breaking news, Northwestern State has canceled its football season, the remainder of its football season, and Brad Laird, head coach of the Demons, has resigned. This one's tough. You know, it's one thing when you get to know coaches and players, and I've known Brad Laird for basically the entire time I've been at Northwestern. He was gone for a couple of years. He was over at Stephen F. Austin for a little bit. He was out of the coaching business entirely for just a bit, and then he was back in alumni affairs at Northwestern State before coming back to take over as he was defensive coordinator, and then moved on to become the head coach. But there you go. Breaking news, Northwestern State has canceled the remainder of its 2023 football season, and Head coach Brad Laird has resigned, and they will begin a search immediately, and see if they can, kind of see what happens. So there you go. That's your breaking news. So, that's tough. At the end of the day, you think of, we always talk Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher and Kevin Sumlin through their first whatever number of games. Sumlin has this record. It's a little better than Fisher. Why'd we fire Sumlin? But Fisher's still around. He's got that crazy amount of money, all of that stuff. But we have to, the sobering reality of all of this is these are still human beings. Brad Laird he's by no means a rich man. It's not like he was making millions as the head coach at Northwestern State. So, he'll land on his feet. He's a great person, a great human being. I think he's a very good football coach. Just for whatever reason, never came together for him as the head coach at NSU. And so, I understand the move from a football reason. I certainly understand the move off the field too, right? You're 0-6. I'm sure the players probably were not heavily invested after one of their brothers goes down. If you don't remember, Ronnie Caldwell, junior safety from Austin, Texas, was shot and killed at an off-campus apartment complex where he lived. His roommate has been arrested, and one of the other members of the football team was arrested as well, a defensive lineman. Neither of them have been charged with his death or in his death, but both got hit with possession of a weapon, with a controlled substance, and just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of turmoil. The team's game right after that was canceled against Nichols, was not going to be made up. Then they moved the game against Southeastern Louisiana up from this past Saturday back to Thursday a week ago, and played that. And then and then from there it was, it seemed to be anyway business as usual at that point. It felt like everyone was gearing up to head to Natchitoches. To head to Lake Charles this weekend, Northwestern State and McNeese. It was going to be the second straight battle of winless teams, which is kind of weird. So I don't know. It's just an odd thing to have happen. Again, I feel greatly for Brad Laird because he's a friend. I consider him a friend. He's a good man. One of those guys that you'd be honored to have as your dad, to have as your father-in-law, to be related to in some way. Certainly get that. And, understand there are a lot of feelings. He's also one of Northwestern's own. As the release said, he was a record-setting quarterback. His career passing records stood for years. His career passing record stood until not too long ago, as a matter of fact. So just a couple of years ago that Shelton Epler broke his record. So, this is a guy that has been heavily invested in Natchitoches and Northwestern State and in that community. So to have this happen is just it's gut wrenching. It's one of those things that just and as someone who I've been around Northwestern for 21 years, right? So it's also hurtful for me because it's a guy I wanted to see succeed. I wanted to see Brad Laird have success. There was no one that I would rather have seen have success than a guy like Brad Laird. And unfortunately for him, the resignation, and look, Rogers, I told this story. I think I told it on Friday after the Thursday night game. You know, we had our pregame meeting with Brad, and it's, you know, our normal pregame meeting is, you know, we go talk to the coach. All right, kind of, you know, where do you feel your team's at? All right, you know, give us the injury report. All right, who's kind of what are your best matchups? Tell me about your O line, your D line. What's, you know, all that stuff. All right, that's your normal kind of course of a coach's conversation. And our conversation with Brad Laird, it was him, it was me, it was Gary Reasons. You know, Gary's crying, Brad's crying. I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying to hold it together. And it was heartbreaking. It was real. And, you know, this was raw. It was a week after Ronnie Caldwell's death. And, you know, the thought process at that point was, hey, we just need to kind of get back to some sense of normalcy. Need the guys to get back out on the field and kind of, you know, resume a normal place of being and a normal routine. And then obviously just, you know, you lose that game pretty handily, and you know, this is what ends up happening. So just a horrible, I don't say horrible, it's tragic on obviously the end of one of your players gets killed. That's a horrible tragedy, no doubt about it. And then to have sort of the repercussions of that spill over into the rest of the season, just man, and I feel for everyone involved. That is, it's tough. You know, you got a bunch of kids who are hurting, you got a bunch of coaches who are hurting, and you know, family members. It's bad, man. It really is. So there you go. Breaking news: Northwestern State has canceled its football season. 4 games remaining. They were playing at McNeese. They were home to Houston Christian. They were playing at Incarnate Word. And then they were finishing up the season with a home game against Texas A&M Commerce. Those were the 4 games left in the season. And now, obviously, that is done now. So just, again, a lot of emotion in it for me, especially because I'm close to these guys. And look, I love Brad Laird. He's just one of the best human. And look, Rogers Hampton loves Brad Laird, right? I mean, Rogers and I go down for a baseball game in the spring, and I text Brad and I'm like, hey, we're coming down. He goes, I'm coming. And he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to come and sit with Rogers and you know, be with Rogers, but he decides to, you know, he wanted to come see Rogers, and his dad and Rogers' dad knew each other. And, you know, Billy Laird and Rogers Hampton Sr., you know, kind of ran in the same circles in a lot of ways because of, you know, both being in this area in football. And so, you know, Brad made it a point to come down and see Rogers at the baseball game. And they sat and chatted and, you know, had a good time. So, I mean, that's just the human being that Brad Laird is. And again, I want everyone to understand that in the midst of all of this, there's human beings that are in here, right? It's human beings that are that are involved, you know. And again, I kind of go back to the Jimbo Fisher thing, right? You know, it's easy to look at Jimbo Fisher and say, oh, well, you know, that guy should be fired. And look, Jimbo's going to get paid. He's going to have lots of money. He never has to work again if he doesn't want to. But at the level that Northwestern State is, that's not the case. You know, Brad Laird's not getting paid millions and millions of dollars. So it's a little different in terms of what he will have to endure. You know, it's not like he can go and, you know, Coach O, right? Coach O took what, 14 million? Wasn't that what it was, Rogers? 14 million? So 14, 16 million, something like that. And he takes that buyout. And you know what? If Coach O is frugal and invests right, whatever, he doesn't have to work again in his life. You know, he could, If he's Rodgers, you think you could live on $1 million a year for the next 14 years? You think you could figure that out? Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of Budweiser, Raj, but it's not that much. Well, I mean, it's enough to kill you, but you're not going to spend $1 million in Budweiser. So, yeah, those guys, Coach O, is fired, but he gets the big severance package and he goes quietly, and he doesn't have to work again if he chooses not to. It's not the case for Brad Laird. Brad Laird gets fired. He wasn't making millions. He's living better than most, but he wasn't making millions. And so now, he's going to have to kind of collect himself and try to figure out what the next step is. And what happens to the assistant coaches, right? Both of his coordinators were in their second year. What do they do? He had a bunch of assistant coaches who would come in on their first year. What do you do? Your senior class, right? They're looking at the end of their careers. What do they do? My guess is that if the seniors petition the NCAA for a red shirt, my guess is they would get it. I don't know that for a fact, but you look at the extenuating circumstances. You played 6 games, which is just 2 more than the 4 that you're allowed to redshirt. You then add the extenuating circumstances of death of a teammate. Didn't really get to finish your senior season out. I would be shocked if the NCAA didn't allow that senior class an opportunity to play one more if they wanted to. But you feel for them, right? They don't get to finish out that senior season. They don't get to run through the purple smoke that one last time on the last home game of the year, on senior day. They don't get senior day, right? So there's a lot of human cost above and beyond the absolute worst human cost, which is Ronnie Caldwell and what happened to him and his family, which is the worst. I mean, that's unfathomable. But then add in the other kids that are dealing with, stuff in their own right. Just an awful way for it to end. So, look, our best to Brad Laird. I've already texted him and we've chatted a little bit. He's as good as they come. I know Brad will land on his feet. He's too good a guy not to. But I do feel for him because no one wants to be fired, especially when you get the chance to coach your alma mater. You want to do right by them. It's the team that you played for, the team that you starred for. You own the records in the record book. You want to bring success to that team, and in the end, just not enough wins. So, keep your thoughts and prayers, obviously, for Ronnie Caldwell's family. They need it the most, but also keep in your mind, keep in your thoughts the rest of the Northwestern State football team. Just a tough way for this to end. I do not have any information on why it went down like this, and if I did, I probably wouldn't share it anyway. But I will tell you, I don't have any info on it. Just so you know, there were I know rumors, but I don't have anything factual on what actually went down. I'm not that deep inside the athletic department that I know what happened. And again, even if I did, and I'm telling you I don't, I'm not just saying this, but even if I did, I probably wouldn't share it. Anyway, I don't know. It feels like this had to have been a team decision. Again, this is me speculating. It feels like it's one of those things where the team says we don't want to do this anymore. It doesn't feel like, Rogers, you tell me. I don't know of a coach in the world who would quit on a team no matter what happened. Coaches just aren't built that way. Coaches are going to, I'm 0-7, I'm 0-9, whatever. We're finishing the season out. We're going to try to, we're going to get a win at the end. I don't know a coach that would quit on a team. Extenuating circumstances, aside, something happens off field, your parents, some, family, whatever. I don't know a coach that would quit on a team, but once the season is canceled, then it makes sense for Brad Laird to go ahead and resign at that point. If it's if his heart's not in it, but I guarantee you, he was fighting, he was trying to get a win against Southeastern a week ago. So no real surprise that that's how that ended up. So I hate it. I hate it for the folks that are involved. I hate it for the friends that I have that are in the Northwestern State family, and I hope for the best for all of them. That's really tough, man. That is really, really tough. So I hope for the best. Hope that everything is going to come out, and hopefully everyone bounces back from this and moves forward, and that brighter days are ahead, because it's been a dark period for Northwestern State football, that's for sure. All right, Rogers, why don't we go ahead and take a break here? I don't want to kind of yuck off of kind of a heavy story. So we'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll reset the show. We'll give you the phone lines and all that. I will remind you to go subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We would appreciate that. But yeah, we're not going to yuck it up too much right here. This is a tough scenario, tough way to start the show, and then we'll come back, we'll reset, and we'll kind of get back into to our normal fun and frivolity. But again, if you haven't heard, the breaking news for today came out about an hour ago. Northwestern State has canceled the rest of its football season, had 4 games remaining, 2 on the road and 2 at home, and head coach Brad Laird has resigned as head coach. Weston Glosser, his defensive coordinator, takes over as the interim until the search for a new coach can reach its conclusion. So there we go. Again, listening to us on 103.3 FM, 1130 The Tiger. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll reset the show and kind of get you underway. You're listening and hopefully watching on YouTube, The Patrick Netherton Show.
A company is only as good as its people, and at Jack Spring Electric, they have a collection of the best. Jack Spring Electric is humbled every day by the excellence of their team. They'll always work hard to provide exactly what their customer needs, whether an industrial plant, commercial storefront, or residential work, they've got you covered. If you want the job done right, within budget, on time, and by a dedicated team player, Jack Spring Electric is the electrical contractor for you. Find them at jackspringelectric.com. That's jackspringelectric.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hollis Dental Care is the premier one-stop shop for all your dental care needs in the Arklatex. Dr. Matt Hollis and his team can handle everything from simple cleanings to major dental implants, all in-house. And if you've got a toothache, call 318-703-6680 by 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and you're guaranteed to be seen the same day. That's Hollis Dental Care. Call them at 318-703-6680 or find them at Benton Road and Wimple. Hollis Dental Care, the best spot for your smile.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John's Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John's Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello. NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. You love Greg Popovich, Victor Wembanyama, surely the Rookie of the Year. Put that money down on the Spurs. Basketball's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code TIGER. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TIGER. The crown is yours. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, bring home a select DeWalt drill or impact driver or Cobalt 40-volt blower for just $99. And order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 10/31. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Same-day delivery by 8 p.m. for eligible in-stock items. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
I expect a Trey Langford text anytime here.
Rounding out the day's events.
Rogers, you can't air drum like you used to, man. You gotta be careful with that hand. Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger. Rogers and Patrick, that's us All right. So if you didn't hear breaking news from earlier, Northwestern State has canceled the rest of its 2023 football season, and head coach Brad Laird has resigned. Again, I've got a lot of people asking what's gone on. I don't really know. I'm not exactly privy to everything that's gone on. And even if I were, I probably wouldn't say it publicly. But I can tell you I don't know. I would probably tell you I did know, and I just don't want to talk about it, or I've been told not to discuss it. But I honestly don't know. I've heard rumors, but I'm not gonna indulge in rumors. So all I know is Brad Laird's a good man, very good man, good human being. Love him to death, and hope he lands on his feet wherever he ends up. I hope he's incredibly successful. All right, let's reset the show here. Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. You can also find us on, let's see what else, YouTube. Yeah, you can do YouTube if you like. We'll tell you more about that in a second. But first, if you want to get in touch with the show, you call us, and you call us on our brand new phone line. That is 318-RALLY-45, 318-RALLY-45, or 725-5945.
Hello.
Yeah, that's it, Coach O. Thank you. Rogers, what do you think about Coach O for the Northwestern State gig? Think he wants us to drop down to Natchitoches and do a little FCS football? 725-5945. You can also find us, if you like, on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. That number is 318-657-HAM, 318-657-0426, also known as the
Bobby L. Green Plumbing
text line. Almost had it, Rogers. It's tough, man. That's a tough one. Hambone has to click it and click it again, basically simultaneously, to get it to fade out quickly enough. I wonder if you could set that to not fade. Like, I wonder if it's possible, just like, can I just have this music file not fade, please? Anyway, so those are the ways that you can get in touch with us. You can also watch us over on the YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/@Netherton Show. youtube.com/the @ symbol and Netherton Show after that. We'd love to have you. You can look at the Alan Parsons Project camera, the eye in the sky. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Again, if you have a Google account already, and almost everyone has a Google account of some kind, if you have a Google account, you're already good to go. You just sign in with your Google account, your regular Google sign-in, and you're there. And then you just hit the subscribe button. It's free. Helps us out, gets our metrics up, gets our numbers up. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of football season. We're sitting at 309. We need 191 more. So let's get that going. Share, if you don't mind. There's a little share arrow where you can share the stream. We'd appreciate it if you did that with your friends and family and, strangers, whoever. Share that out. We'd greatly appreciate it. We are also available to you on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now. @Netherton Show is the main feed. @HeyBoyRogers is that guy over there. And I would be @PT Netherton. Let's see, the app. That's a good way to tune in. You can find the app on 1130 The Tiger. Search for it on Google Play or your iTunes App Store. Listen to us in crystal clear HD audio. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man with two bad hips.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
Hey, boy.
Hey, boy.
Hi, man.
Hello.
What's up, my dude?
I don't know.
Hambone's got some bad hips going on. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Poor
I just
Hambone.
can't walk around like I used to.
Yeah,
it's just not the same.
Just don't get
Especially
around
like you said, on uneven concrete.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
it's not
man.
smooth pavement, or
No.
it's also not soft, by
And
the
a lot
way,
of
either.
stepping over wires and cords. And
Yeah.
it's just not like it used to be.
Yeah, old Hambone, he can't get in behind his right tackle anymore like he
Yeah,
used to.
sometimes you just got to give it on up, kind of like Dusty Baker did today.
Yeah, So, we'll talk about Dusty in a little bit, and we'll talk about the fair in a little bit. But, Rogers, I am curious, your thoughts on what we just heard about Northwestern State. I did not see that coming. There were rumors flying around that might happen. Last I had heard, the rumors were not true. Turns out apparently they were. Just kind of your thoughts on it.
Once you kind of told me about the rumors, it kind of concerned me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because we kind of know where the season was headed before the horrible tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, they were 0-5 before that.
And it wasn't looking good.
Right.
So we all kind of had a weird little gut feeling about, oh, man, where's this going to go? And
yeah, it felt like it was a 3-win, 2-win kind of season sort of thing. So, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But with everything that happened with Ronnie, I can't say that I'm very surprised.
Well, and here's the thing, Rogers.
It just didn't feel like it was going to end well no matter what.
In your day, it was, you didn't talk about your feelings, right? You didn't have counselors. You didn't. That wasn't something you did.
You rubbed some dirt on it. Everybody drank out of the water hose.
You rubbed dirt on your feelings. For that matter.
Oh, absolutely.
So hey, you feeling bad? You're not.
Especially if you were an athlete,
right? So I'm saying you didn't have a mental health day.
And who I was the son of? Yeah, right. No.
You didn't get to have a bad day mentally.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do,
and you really didn't even know what that meant.
Exactly. Mental health was not something that existed.
If it was. It was to the extreme where you were in Pineville.
Right.
You were in a mental institute.
Yeah.
There was no, we'll counsel you, and here's a little bit of Zoloft. No, it was just you went straight to the mental facility.
So, but the one thing I do appreciate about today's athletes is they are not afraid to talk about their mental health. I think it's very important. Look at Simone Biles, right? Maybe the biggest example. Simone Biles gets to the Olympics of all places and says, you know what? I'm not mentally there. Like I'm not mentally capable of doing a backflip right now. I don't feel it. I can't do it. And so I'm not going to do it. And that, of course, half the population is, she's a wuss. What is she doing? Grow up, and the other half are like, no, this is important. There's no doubting her ability, and there's no doubting how good she is. There's no doubting that she's the best gymnast that's ever lived. That's without a doubt. So she takes time off. She still wins a couple of medals at the Olympics. She then takes time off, and she comes back. Gets her mental side back where she wants it in competitive place. And she comes back and she wins the world championships again for a record-setting however many times. That's something that you would not have fathomed 30 years ago.
That's something I can't even wrap my head around.
Exactly. You take time
yes,
for yourself because you're mentally
not
really ready.
Talk about it openly because I don't have enough experience with it.
Right.
Even being the father of Lauren, little bit, who grew up in a time where girls were playing more sports, the mental aspect of it never became a thing. She'll be 29 years old in December. There was never none of that.
Yeah, mental health really started becoming a thing about 5 or 6 years ago, it feels like. Something in that, maybe a little longer than that, maybe a decade. But for the most part, it was not something that was talked about. And so, after you see one of your brothers and a guy who was mentoring half the team, it felt like, in Ronnie Caldwell at Northwestern State, you see him, he dies. He gets shot. I mean, it's the most, it's not like Brian Piccolo, Rogers, that was sad, but you knew it was coming. It was not completely unexpected. You knew that was happening. To have a guy just shot and killed in the prime of his life, in the middle of a season, that's something that not only is it, you lost your teammate, you lost a friend, you lost a brother, but you did it in the most horrific way imaginable. Someone else took his life. Someone else made that choice to take his life from him. And so I look at that and I say, I understand why. And again, I don't have any inside info. I don't know what happened. This is me speculating. If I was a player on the Northwestern State football team, I'm 0-5, now 0-6 after playing on Thursday of last week. I'm 0-6. Do I really want to go back out there and play? Do I have mentally, is my mentality that I've just got to suck it up and go play, or am I allowed to not be okay? And that's the one thing that we're seeing in today's athletics that we've never seen before, is that it is okay to not be okay. And we're, again, Simone Biles is the highest example of that. She was the world's best gymnast, and still is the world's best gymnast that we've ever seen. The best gymnast in history. Has won more medals than anyone, has won more championships than anyone, has like the most difficult maneuver in gymnastics named after her, because no one else wants to attempt it. They're trying to outlaw it because no one else can even do it. And she says, you know what? I'm not okay mentally, and I'm going to take a break, and I need to get away. I'm not there. I'm not mentally, I'm not ready to compete. 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, that's suck it up, cupcake. Get back out there, not Chris Demerjen. Suck it up, get back out there. Maybe also Chris Demerjen. But, sorry, sweetheart, or you don't get a chance to have a bad day mentally. You got to be tougher than that. You're not tough. And now we're seeing that it's okay to not be tough mentally. It's okay to accept the fact that sometimes you're not okay. And so for me, it feels like that's probably a lot of what happened in this story, right? If this is a team that's 6-0 right now, is it different? Maybe. Maybe they go, hey, we've got something we need to play for. We're trying to get a championship. Let's win this for Ronnie. Whatever. I don't know, but you're 0-6. You got 4 games left. I'm sure you don't feel particularly motivated to get out there and grind through practice and try to get back to where you need to be and be in your best and all of that. I can understand why the players may not want to go through that. And, maybe it was a player decision. I don't know. I asked Brad Laird last week, had y'all talked about potentially canceling the season? And he said, no, it hadn't really come up. They had a players-only meeting. The coaches were involved, but the players were kind of leading the thing, and where they kind of aired everything and talked and kind of let a lot of that grief out. That happened before last week's game, kind of in the immediate aftermath of the death of Ronnie Caldwell. They went through and talked about it and kind of, got a lot of feelings out and a lot of emotion out. And, Brad said there was never a point in time where it was discussed, hey, maybe we should cancel the rest of the season. It was, all right, how do we get back to some sense of normalcy at some point? And the thought process was getting those guys back out on the field would kind of bring that sense of normalcy back a little bit. Rogers, not to be a little bit, please don't see this as me being trite, but I think of Top Gun, right? Goose dies, Maverick is scared to go back up, and it's just kind of, they have to let him get back in his own time. I feel like it's the same way. It's a really good example of kind of how mental health works. It's not on a timetable. It's not a set timetable. Some guys bounce back fast. Some guys, it takes a while. Some guys, you don't see anything from. They look, solid as a rock, and then it just all comes out at once out of nowhere. Grief is processed in different ways by everyone. So there is no standard template for how this was going to go down. And I think ultimately it just came to, maybe enough. Again, I don't know. I'm not in the inner workings of Northwestern State athletic program. I'm sure if I ask, that they will tell me, that someone will kind of clue me in, but I haven't asked. I'm not I'm not really kind of, it doesn't feel like the right time to be doing that kind of thing. And maybe I'll know eventually, and maybe I'll never know, and that's okay too. It feels like it's one of those. Hey, maybe enough players just said, look, we don't want to do this anymore. We're grieving for our friend, for our brother. We're having a bad season. There's nothing to play for. We don't want to go back out there. Let's just kind of cut our losses. And maybe that happened. I don't know. Maybe the administration was like, look, this is, we've heard from enough players, or maybe the counselors were saying, I don't know. I really don't know how it all went down. But it feels like it was probably player driven, right? They would ultimately be the guys that would decide, hey, we want to play. Hey, we don't want to play. And maybe enough of them decided they didn't want to, and that's what happened. So I don't know. I'm just speculating, but just a tough way for a season to come to an end, that's for sure. Definitely send our best to Brad Laird, to Bo Blair, Weston Glosser, all the coaching staff, all of those players, all of the administration, the support staff, everyone else. It's a tough thing all the way around. So keep your best thoughts and prayers for the Northwestern State family. All right, so if you want to get in touch with the show we mentioned, call us, text us. You can find us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. Don't forget, we're also taking your Two Johns upset special picks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's your opportunity to win a $50 gift certificate to Two Johns Steak and Seafood. All you have to do is text us on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. That is 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. Text us the biggest underdog that you believe will win outright. That's the most important thing, is that underdog needs to win outright. Last week we only had two that were picked that won outright, but that's enough. One of them was a 21-point favorite, and Go Win's Paint Supplier was the lone champion. So Rogers, by the way, I sent his gift certificate off yesterday. Trying to do better about that. Trying to get them out. So at least maybe they'll have an opportunity to go for Friday lunch. Because, Rogers, why wouldn't you want to go to Friday lunch at Two Johns? 2151 Airline Drive, just north of the railroad tracks, Two Johns Steak and Seafood. Tomorrow is Friday lunch. It's our favorite time. You go over there, you have a ribeye burger with Hambone gets it with mustard and pickles and A1 and barbecue sauce. That's the Leon's barbecue sauce, by the way. If you remember old Leon's barbecue, there was one out on Monkhouse over here. There was one right across from KTBS that was in that spot right there where then it became like a donut place, I think. Anyway, Leon's had that terrific spicy hot barbecue sauce. Not hot as in pepper, hot as in fire. Like it was a warm, like a warm sauce, which I really enjoyed. It was just really good. Had a little kick to it. Very good barbecue sauce. So Big John and his family took over Leon's years and years ago. So they got the recipe for the Leon's barbecue sauce, and now they bring it out on Fridays at Two Johns for lunch. Only time you can get certain things on the menu: the ribeye burger, the Leon's barbecue sauce, and the key lime pie. Only time you can get those things are Friday lunch at Two Johns. 2151 Airline Drive, just north of the railroad tracks. Go see them. You're talking about unbelievable dinners, steaks and salads and appetizers galore, amazing drinks. What a fantastic wine list. They've got all kind of great spots for you to go sit. Outdoor patio is a lot of windows, really bright. When it's cool and nice, they'll open the windows up. You get some fresh air. Courtyard is outside. So when the temperature changes here in a couple of days, you can go get outside and sit on the courtyard. You can then turn around and go inside for the old school Chicago style fine dining steakhouse vibe, or the bar, which is kind of an old school speakeasy. So a lot of cool places for you to sit at Two Johns Steak and Seafood. 2151 Airline Drive, just north of railroad tracks. Go see them. If you win, you can take your $50 gift certificate with you from the Patrick Netherton Show. And as always, when you go, please tell Big John that we sent you. We would appreciate it. All right. Take a break. Hey, nothing scary at Two Johns, man. Which one is this? Jason or Halloween? Okay. Michael Myers. Rogers, they might have a guy named Michael that'll wait on you at Two Johns. I don't know. Maybe one of your servers. But he will not. The only time he'll come over with a really scary knife, Rogers, is that steak knife that you use to cut that beautiful ribeye. It's the only time you'll have to worry about that. And yeah, maybe if you order your steak rare, it'll look bloody, but don't worry, that's not actually blood. It's myoglobin, so don't worry about it. All right, it's the Patrick Netherton Show, 103.3 FM, 1130 The Tiger. Remember to follow us and subscribe over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We'll be back.
Sports is about overcoming obstacles. This is Ernie Johnson Jr., and those are the stories I love to tell in the broadcast booth. But the courage of college athletes is more than matched by another group of young men, the boys fighting Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's the most prolific genetic killer diagnosed in childhood, and there's no cure. But college football coaches are doing something about it, and you can help. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at coachtocuremd.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501 today. Help college football coaches cure MD. You'll be proud you did.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ALL to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 42424. That's ALL to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LumeDeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 500.
Hollis Dental Care is the premier one-stop shop for all your dental care needs in the Arklatex. Dr. Matt Hollis and his team can handle everything from simple cleanings to major dental implants, all in-house. And if you've got a toothache, call 318-703-6680 by 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and you're guaranteed to be seen the same day. That's Hollis Dental Care. Call them at 318-703-6680 or find them at Benton Road and Wimple. Hollis Dental Care, the best spot for your smile.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John's Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John's Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Hey, just stop by to say hello, and my gosh, look how busy it is in here. How'd you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker. You know, for a long time, we had decent business coming in by word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that with my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses just like yours.
Okay, then what?
Well, if you see there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
Only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
Hey, this is Travis Kelce, NFL tight end and proud member of the Lowe's home team. Lowe's knows when you've got the best price, you've already won. That's why we offer the lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price online or in store, we'll match it. Now you can score on the top brands from the Lowe's home team picks, like Scotts, LG, and DeWalt. So take on your projects with confidence. Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retail partner of the NFL.
Price match applies to same item, current price of qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Tiger weather now.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms moving through here this evening. They'll taper off later tonight. Temperatures into low 70s. It'll be cloudy and warm Friday. Still a chance for a few afternoon, evening showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. Highs mid-80s. Partly sunny and warm Saturday, mid-80s. Partly sunny, warm Sunday. Chance for late day showers and storms. Low to mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Your home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
Good afternoon. It's
Patrick Netherton Show, rolling with the changes. He's Rogers, I'm Patrick. Hope everyone is having themselves a wonderful day. All right, we can get some texts and whatnot, messages, everything. And we got to talk about what went down at the fair. We haven't gotten into that. We'll do that here in just a sec. Trey on the YouTube channel, again, youtube.com/@Netherton Show, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We need to get the subscriber numbers up. We had a little run there where things got good, and then we kind of hit a little plateau. We're sitting at 309. Need to get that up. So if you haven't subscribed, please go do it. youtube.com/@Netherton Show. Trey said the Midway Hawkers calling "Try Your Luck with Me." Yeah, we had a few. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's see. Anything that's not upsets. Ping Pong said, going to the fair, you get to play the Dodge the Bullets game. You know, I will say this. Yes, it's not a great neighborhood that the fair is located in, but they have, Rogers, we didn't go more than 5-10 minutes without seeing a police officer. They make you go through a metal detector to get in. So, you can't, it's not like you can just walk in with a weapon. Rogers had to leave his knife in the truck. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not the safest thing in the world, but I feel like they're doing as much as they can to make it safe. There was never a point in time when we were walking around today that I felt unsafe. I never felt like, oh, no, I'm in trouble, or, this is kind of a sketchy situation. Never felt like that. Rogers, the only time I felt like it was a sketchy situation is when I was like, man, should I really try to shoot this basketball in this hoop? That's the only time I ever felt like it was a sketchy situation. No, it was actually very, very good. Prices are sky high. I mean, going in, you're going to pay a lot of money for that. So, now today, I think, Rogers, it was like $2 rides or something. Like you could, it was free admission, it was free parking, and I believe you could ride for less, a decent price. And they've got like an armband system now where you like buy an armband at a little kiosk, and then you can go through and like recharge the armband, and they scan it, so it's no longer like the ticket system that they used to have, which I think is great. Do it as much electronically as you can. Let's see. Joey Freshwater said, got a feel for the seniors who never get to play again. Do you have any info on if this was a team vote? Yeah, again, like I said, I don't have any info. I've heard rumors about what may have gone down. I don't know. It feels to me, just speculating, no insider knowledge, just speculating. It feels to me like this was a player thing. That makes the most sense, that the players would just basically say, look, because the coaches aren't. The coaches are not going to quit. That's not how coaches are made. Short of some kind of Jerry Kill health problem kind of thing, coaches aren't the type to quit. So it feels like this had to either come from the administration, or it had to come from the players, or it had to come from a combination, right? Players go to the administration, say we don't want to do this, and the administration then says, okay, well, we don't have a choice, right? If your players aren't going to play, then they don't have a choice. I have no knowledge of this. I'm speculating, but that's what it feels like, right? It feels like the players would say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore. We're 0-6. We're not going anywhere. We're not playing for anything. We're not okay. Our teammate was killed. All of that, you could kind of see how that might all play in, and that be the reason that they end up canceling the season. Because, of course, if the players walk out, there is no season. There's no one left to play. Trey said, wow, on NSU football. And Rush. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah, I need to also get Trey's pick in here, if my pen will work. Trey's pick. All right, I got your pick in, Trey. Let's see. Double J said, I hope the players take full advantage of the counseling that the administration is making available. Prayers. In the Top Gun analogy, would that make you the James Tolkien character who spits his coffee when Maverick buzzes the tower? I don't know. What would that make me in the Top Gun analogy? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Rogers, I'm Iceman. I'm really handsome, technically perfect. The guy that all the others strive to be and emulate. I'm going to go with Iceman. I'll say I'm Iceman. It's probably not accurate, but nevertheless. Mark in Arkansas said canceling that season is probably the best. You know dang well them kids won't have their minds on the game, and that could lead to injuries. Prayers to the Northwestern family. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, that's I don't have any knowledge of how this went down. It feels like it was a player-led decision because the coaches aren't going to make that call. The I don't know that the administration's going to make that call. I don't think the administration's going to come in and say, well, the players want to play, but we're going to cancel it. So it feels like it's the players that have to make that call. And by the way, not for nothing, if that is the case, again, I don't know that it is, but if that is the case, kudos to the players for having enough of a voice to be able to make that decision, right? To be able to say, hey, we feel like we're good enough, or we have enough of a voice to be able to say we're not okay to play. I think that's nice. I think that's good that the players feel like they have enough of an ownership stake in their own team. Now, again, if it's hey, I'm going to make you run because you had 7 penalties and we run for every penalty, and they say, well, we're not running, that's one thing. But if they say, hey, we're not in a place mentally where we feel like we can give our best effort, then I get that. Friendship Academy said, curious about your thoughts on NSU canceling the football season. I'm just now tuning into the show. Yeah, I mean, we obviously most of the first hour was about that. I don't really have any thoughts other than I shouldn't say I don't have any opinions on it one way or the other. It feels like it was a player-led decision. I hate it for Brad Laird because I know what a good man he is. Nobody wanted to win more at his alma mater than Brad Laird did. So I hate it for him. I hate it for the Northwestern family that they're having to go through things like this. This is not anything that's worth going. No one wants to go through anything like this. You don't want to lose a brother. You don't want to lose a friend. And so I understand. The other point that I think is worth noting is just the way that the conversation has flipped on mental health in sports. Used to be it wasn't okay for you to be not okay. You couldn't say, oh, well, coach, I'm having a bad day. Well, suck it up, buttercup, go out there and play. Now it's much more acceptable to not be okay mentally and to deal with that and kind of go through that. You still sometimes have to suck it up and go play on a bad day, but there's much more of a focus and a concern and a real effort to make mental health something that matters. And I really do appreciate that. Demon alum said, just getting to listen in. By chance, have you discussed the breaking news at NSU? Yes. Yes, it was led the top of the show. NSU canceled the 2023 season, and Brad Laird has resigned. So there you go. There's your news at the top of the show. Yes, we definitely discussed the breaking news. Also, don't forget, send in your Two Johns Upset special picks. Those are on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. Send those in, and we will get them written down, and we'll have them for you on Monday, and hopefully we'll have a winner on Monday. Demon Alum said, got it, thanks. Yeah, it broke a little while before the show started. I got a report from Tyler Moody, actually, Rogers, of Moody's Moneymakers. He texted me and said, hey, I just got this from my mom on a KSLA alert. Is this true? And I said, because we had talked about that the rumors were flying around that the season was canceled and Brad Laird would be fired, but there was no substantiation to those. And so I said, I don't know. And I called Jason Pugh, and Pugh said, yeah, the university's done the release. So then I went and looked up the university release. It mentioned canceling the season, and it mentioned that Brad Laird resigned as well. So Weston Glosser, the Demon defensive coordinator, will take over as the interim head coach. He'll kind of keep things going because they're going to need to continue to work out. Then there's going to be kind of roster management stuff with kids that may want to transfer and red shirt and all of that stuff. So he'll have to deal with a lot of that. And then, who knows what happens at that point as you're moving forward. Let's see. 815 Rogers. He's our resident NBA guy. Old 815. I think I know who this is. But he said, NBA did not disappoint last night. Best sport you're not watching. Give it a shot when football's not on. Well, it just so happened I did give it a shot last night. And again, I don't hate the NBA. And as I said yesterday, right, opening day or opening night of NBA is good. You know, the season's full of hope and optimism, and no one is, no one's looking. Everyone's in the playoffs right now. Hope springs eternal. And so I watched the end of that Celtics game, and it was good. And I watched about the first half, not all the first half, but most to see Victor Wembanyama. Rogers, I got to tell you, I'm already tired of them calling him Wemby. Like, I don't know. I'm not a nickname guy. I as a broadcaster, I don't like to use nicknames for guys. LeBron James to me is James. If you want to call him LeBron, I get it. Fine. But I don't know. Wemby already is bothering me, and it's one game. But and I get Wembanyama's a lot. Same thing with Roethlisberger, right? They would never say Roethlisberger. They'd always say Ben. That always kind of bothered me. I don't know. I'm a little old school when it comes to how broadcasters handle those types of situations. I'm always of the use the last name or the full name. Don't use nicknames if you can help it, unless they just go by their nickname, like the kid we had, Derek Graham Jr. He's listed on the official roster as Rodeo Graham Jr., so that's what he goes by. You know, it's not like he's listed on the roster as Derek Graham, and they're like, no, just call him Rodeo. Well, I'm not going to do that. Now, if he's listed on the roster as Rodeo Graham Jr., then we're going to call him Rodeo Graham Jr. Hambone, you know what they say. If Mama named him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay. What he's listed as on the roster is what I'm going to go with. But I've never been a fan of calling Roethlisberger Ben, I don't know. That's one of those little things that's just a little irksome for me. Just a little bit irksome. T-Bone said, do you think this is a mutiny situation? I don't know. I don't know. Mutiny may be a strong word. I do feel like it was player-driven. That's the only thing that makes sense. You know, the coaches aren't going to make this call. The coaches are not going to quit on the season. They're not going to quit on their team. So that doesn't make sense. And then the only two alternatives you're left with is the players decided they didn't want to play, or the administration decided they didn't want the players to play and they didn't want the season to go on. That doesn't feel right, right? If the administration is like, hey, guys, do y'all want to play? And the players go, well, hell yeah, we want to play. We want to get out there and, do our best or whatever. Then the administration is not going to go, well, sorry, guys, we're calling off the season. So this feels like the players said, okay, this is this is what we want. We don't want to go back out there. It's a season that's you're not playing for anything. You're 0-6. There's no championships on the horizon. Again, I go back to, what if they're 6-0, right? Is this the same decision, or is it, hey, we need to rally up and try to win a championship? I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm not privy to any of this. I have no inside information. Chuck said, I have an aunt that's like that about baseball. She can watch every Rangers game during the year, no matter what time of day or day of the week it is, and be excited as hell. Yeah, if it's your team, I get it. Rogers watches the Astros. Game 97, Rogers is excited. Game 111, Rogers is excited. Game 1, he's excited. Game 162, he's excited. Me, I don't care about the Astros game 89. Game 1, get it. Game 2, 3, 4, yeah. Early season, that stuff. Last few games of the year, and you're in the hunt for the pennant, or you're in the hunt for a wild card spot, absolutely. Go get you some. Totally understand. I don't really understand, for me anyway, because I'm not an MLB guy. I'm not an NBA guy. So beginning of the year, yes. End of the year, yes. Middle of the year, don't care. The Bulls are 21-50, and they're playing the 30-40 Bucks. I don't know. Bucks probably will have a better record than that. But Why do I care about that game? Why should I care about that game? I don't. But beginning of the year, absolutely. These guys, like I said, I watched the end of the Celtics game. It was fun. Watched about the first half of the Mavs Spurs game. Hambone's boy Luka Doncic got it done. Big three at the end to get the win for the Mavs. Wembanyama had a really nice debut. Now, here's the other problem. Hambone, and you probably know what I'm about to say. What has every sports channel, been about all day today? Oh, well, what does this mean? Victor Wembanyama had 15 and 5 and a block or whatever, and it's now, okay, well, we're projecting his whole career now. All right, well, this means that it was a disappointing debut. Oh, it was a fine debut. Oh, it was a great. Can we just stop? The guy's played one game, and we're passing massive judgments on him. Like, let's give him a year and see what happens. That's the part that bothers me. It is all judgment after one night for a kid who is in his first game in the NBA. It's craziness. Bucking Chicken said, sounds like the players found an excuse not to keep practicing and playing but still go to school for free. I feel really bad for Coach Laird that his players quit on him. I don't know that happened. Again, I'm speculating that it happened because it's the only thing that makes sense in my mind. I do not know what actually happened. It is what makes sense to me that happened. B, I'm not okay with that, with the players quitting line argument. Like, dude, one of their teammates just got killed. Okay, this is a guy that all of them talked about was such a mentor to them, that was, an older brother, a guy that they could turn to, a guy that they could talk to. It wasn't like this was a piece of human garbage that was on the team. This was a great kid. And they're 0-6, sure, one of your brothers gets killed. You don't have anything to play for the rest of the season. The season is, you're playing it out at that point. What's your motivation to go play? I'm not okay with disparaging the players in this scenario. I'm not okay with that. I also reiterate, I do not know that that's how it happened. I am speculating on that. The administration may have made the call. Maybe they got together and said, hey, we're going to just go ahead and end this season and try to let everyone move on and, process the grief and then kind of start fresh. Maybe the administration made that call. I do not know. It feels to me, in my mind, that it was a player's decision. But I am not going to demean the players for making that decision. I'm not going to say they quit on anything. They literally lost one of their own. They lost a brother, they lost a friend, they lost a mentor. And they decided in a season that was already lost at 0-6, they didn't want to finish it. They didn't want to go through the humdrum of going through the rest of the season to finish 2 and what are they going to play? 10 games, 2-8 or 3-7 or whatever the case may be. Or 1-9 or 0-10. They didn't want to go through with that. Mentally, they were not there. And I am 100% on board with players taking care of themselves mentally. To me, it is never okay to accuse players in this scenario of quitting. If they were just 0-6 and nothing had happened and they were like, we're done, we don't want to play anymore, then you can accuse them of being quitters if you want. But the amount of extenuating circumstance that's involved in this, to me, allows the players the latitude to make that decision if they choose. I don't know that's the decision that was made. I have no idea where it came from. I speculate that's where it came from. And if that's the case, I'm absolutely okay with it. I hate it for Brad Laird. I hate it for the Northwestern State family. I hate it for the Northwestern State supporters. I don't like it for me and my crew, and I don't like it for anybody. But I understand it, and I respect it, and I will not demean them for making that choice in that moment for their mental health. Period. All right, take a break. We'll be back.
NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. You love Greg Popovich, Victor Wembanyama, surely the Rookie of the Year. Put that money down on the Spurs. Basketball's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code TIGER. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TIGER. The crown is yours. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hollis Dental Care is the premier one-stop shop for all your dental care needs in the Arklatex. Dr. Matt Hollis and his team can handle everything from simple cleanings to major dental implants, all in-house. And if you've got a toothache, call 318-703-6680 by 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and you're guaranteed to be seen the same day. That's Hollis Dental Care. Call them at 318-703-6680 or find them at Benton Road and Wimple. Hollis Dental Care, the best spot for your smile.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Are you ready to take your brand to new heights? At Town Square Media, your success is our ultimate goal. At Town Square Media, we understand that reaching your audience across various platforms is essential in today's fast-paced landscape. One size fits none in the realm of marketing. See firsthand how Town Square Media crafts tailored solutions that align with your unique goals. Whether it's increasing brand awareness, driving sales, or fostering community engagement, our ability to customize strategies that deliver exactly what you need when you need it. Town Square Media isn't just a partner. We're your brand's most passionate advocate. See how Town Square Media can transform your vision into a reality that resonates, engages, and inspires. Call and schedule your free business analysis today. 318-688-1130. 318-688-1130. Your brand story starts here with Town Square Media, where innovation meets impact and your success is our priority.
The fall anniversary sale is going on now at Campers RV Center. Shop Campers RV Center today to see how much you can save. And our remaining inventory is on closeout. Plus, we're offering a free e-bike or 18-volt cordless pressure washer while supplies last with purchase of select units. Don't wait, prices are falling and the deals are too sweet to beat, only at Campers Campers RV, where adventure meets exceptional service. Campers RV Center goes the extra mile. See for yourself at Campers RV Center online at campersrvcenter.com.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, save up to $800 on select major appliances, plus save an extra $100 on select laundry pairs. And there's more. Bring home pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $49 because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 10/31. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-214-8822. That's 800-214-8822. 800-214-8822.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger, Rogers and Patrick, that's us. Hey, don't forget, if you got toothache, you know, Halloween's coming up, so the kiddos are going to be out going to trick-or-treat, get a bunch of candy. So, yeah, maybe you get a toothache, or your kid gets a toothache, or Rogers and I were talking about maybe eating some taffy out at the fair. Roger's like, well, just pull all the rest of my teeth out of my head. Well, maybe you got that issue. You can go to Hollis Dental Care. Benton Road at Wimple is where you find them. Hollis Dental Care, 703-6680, 703-6680. That is the number that you can find them. Open today until 3, so too late. Rogers, I should have led the show off with the Hollis Dental Care spot on Thursdays. But they're back open on Monday, and they're open late on Monday, open till 6. Tuesday, Wednesday, open to 5, and then on Thursdays, they're open to 3. Again, you call them by 9 a.m. Call them by 9 a.m., and they will get you in the same day if you've got, a dental emergency. You've got a really bad toothache. You've got a loose tooth. You've got a tooth that fell out, whatever the case may be. Rogers, you ever have that dream where your teeth fall out? Absolutely. I've had that a few times. It's the worst. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, my teeth there? You're like tonguing your teeth. You're like, my teeth there? Oh, no, it's never fun. The dream where your teeth fall out. Well, Rogers, if you wake up and your teeth have actually fallen out, give Hollis Dental Care a call, 703-6680. If you call them before 9 a.m., they'll get you in the same day. He'll go, what, you had a dream that your teeth fell out and then they actually did fall out? Well, holy cow. Let's do it. He'll get you taken care of. 703-6680. That's Hollis Dental Care. Call them by 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday if you have an emergency, and they will get you in the same day. All right. Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger. Rogers and Patrick, that's us. Let's get to more texts on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can find us either on the phone line, 318-RALLY-45, 318-725-5945 if you'd like to have your voice heard. You can also find us again on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, 318-6570-HAM, 318-657-0426. Bruce Leroy said, go in, sisters, brothers, cousins, former roommate wins again. Well, here's the thing. He was the only winner It's not like it was, Go In's crew had, 3 people. And here's the other thing. They don't double up their guesses. So, they have a list of, hey, here's what we think are the 10 whatever most likely upsets, and everyone gets to pick one. I'm okay with that, man. Look, that's a way to get you got a choice. And apparently Go In's paint supplier didn't want to take Virginia. But he took them, and they ended up winning. And the other thing is, Go In doesn't strong-arm them into giving him the gift certificate. If they win it, they get the gift certificate. I didn't mail it to Go In. I mailed it to the other guy, the paint supplier. So it's not like there's anything nefarious going on. They just happen to be together, a little cabal that they put together to make it happen. And I'm okay with that. That is 100% okay with me. Hey, if you want to get a group of 10 folks together and pick the 10 most likely upsets and send them all in, go for it. If they all gave their own name, it wouldn't bother you. But it bothers you because you know that they're all associated with him. Double J said, let me get your pick, Double J. I have a problem with this when someone sends their pick in and then they turn around and say something else, and then I forget to write down their pick. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay. And then he said players less than student athletes. Fine. Whatever you want the nomenclature to be, it doesn't matter. That's fine. It's a matter of, for me, the players having a voice in their own in their own team, having a voice and a stake in what they're doing, and dealing with an unfathomable circumstance. This isn't in the book. The coach's handbook doesn't have how do you deal with one of the players that everyone loves and respects dying and being killed. That's not in the handbook. So how you deal with it is just how it's dealt with. There isn't really a wrong answer. It's whatever is in the best interest of everyone involved. Country Boy, here's your boy Rogers. Country Boy said, why would a person think players just want to go to school free and not play football? All are not on full scholarships. Most of them are. Maybe they don't realize it is only for 1 year at the coach's discretion and the player has to appeal. That is why I don't care about them transferring when the school is really only committed for 1 year. Yeah, that's one of the things. They actually changed that, right, in the SEC. I think they did that where, or maybe it was one of the leagues did it, and I don't know if they kept doing it, but at one point they wanted to guarantee a 4-year scholarship for a guy, for someone that you sign. They wanted to guarantee the 4 years. But you're correct, Country Boy. They are on a 1-year scholarship, and there is no guarantee that a coach will bring you back. Right? There's sometimes when the coach goes, hey, maybe you need to go find somewhere else. Maybe you need to go find a greener pasture somewhere. It's not working out. Coaches are reluctant to outright revoke scholarships or just outright kind of cut guys, if you will. They try not to do that because you'll develop a bad reputation that way. But you look at what Colorado did, right? Deion Sanders comes in. What's the first thing he tells the players that are in that locker room? Hey, hit the door. Right? Most of you aren't coming back. Go ahead and leave. He didn't pull any punches. He was absolutely straightforward and said, most of y'all need to get out because most of y'all aren't going to be back on this team. I'm bringing in a whole bunch of my guys. And that's now the landscape with one free transfer. That the landscape is folks can move laterally now. And they can move up. And there's no penalty. So, yeah, that's the new reality. So if the players want to be upwardly mobile, or downwardly mobile for that matter, if the players want to leave, I got no problem with it. Do whatever's best for yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not signing because you love Old State U. You're signing because you love your coach or your position player or a guy that's on the team is one of your friends, right? Now, there are some that's like, man, I'm playing for LSU no matter what. You know, I grew up in Baton Rouge, and I'm going to play for Old War School. Doesn't matter. But there's just as many, more actually, that say, hey, I want to go play for Brian Kelly, or I want to go play for this defensive coordinator that I know can get me in the league. There is much more selfish motivation than there has and I don't mind it, right? It should be. You should be looking out for yourself. It's good to want to be there for your team. It's good to want to be there for the university, but the university isn't necessarily there for you all the time. So make sure you're getting what's good for you. C-Man said, very well said. As someone who grew up around sports, I always felt like players' feelings get pushed aside in favor of being manly or whatever. Yeah, that again, it's the rub dirt on it, right? Oh, coach, I'm hurt. Rub dirt on it. Oh, coach, I'm going through a bad point in my life and I'm depressed. Rub dirt on it. Rub dirt on your brain and get back out there. That to me has never been acceptable. It used to be the way, but I've never felt it to be acceptable. And now we see a lot more of the coaches, players kind of taking stock of and respecting the mental aspect and the emotional aspect of what goes through playing this and going through these kind of things. C-Man said, I think the NBA is in a really bad spot right now. Stars have the most power they've ever had and are spending the most money on their bodies for recovery, and yet you can't convince any of them to play more than 60 games. Even as someone who loves basketball, it's very bleak. Well, it all depends on what's your aim, right? Are you trying to play 82, or are you trying to win a title? Because the way the playoffs are formatted, you're talking about what, Rogers? 20 more games, potentially? Is it 3 series after the NBA regular season? Is it a best of 5 to start and then it goes to 7? I can't ever remember. But just look at it this way. You're talking about playing an extra, let's say 15 to 21, 28 games, however many it is, on top of what is already an 82-game regular season. So, yeah. Do you want to play 82, which is including the playoffs? So or do you want to play 82 and then try to stack an additional 20 on top of that? I understand load management. I get it. Now, if you're a team that's terrible, I think you should play all the time. I think if you get to a certain point, then I think load management should change. If you're to the point where your team, you're not in it, then I think at that point you should be playing. Let's see. Trey said YouTube comment from Rush Tune. Well, I don't see a YouTube. Oh, no, we said it earlier, Trey. Midway Hawkers calling, try your luck with me. Yeah, I said it earlier. Bruce Leroy said, but former roommate? Look, again, if you got a crew, Bruce Leroy, that you get together and you make 10, 12 picks, go for it. As long as they're from different numbers, I don't care. If you can find 12 people that you want to send in a pick, and like Go-In does, he sends out a list. Hey, everybody pick one team from this list. These are what we think are the best chance for an upset. And everyone gets to pick one. And then they send it in themselves. And if they win, they get the gift certificate. I have no problem with that. The problem is you get mad because they all associate themselves with him. If it was just like, instead of Go-In's first daughter, it was, hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm sending in this pick, you wouldn't care. If it's I'm Go-In's proctologist, but instead it was like, hey, I'm Dr. Steve, Dr. Jellyfinger, Dr. Rosen, you wouldn't care. Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc. Ever served time? Dr. K said, if my progeny win, I'm getting the gift certificate. Well, you're the dad at that point, so I don't know. That's kind of up to you. 318 said, did Demons cancel season and coach resigned? Yes. Yeah, that we covered that most of the day now. Yes, the Demons canceled their season and Brad Laird has resigned. Cocky said, write down my pick. Cocky already did. And then said, what about the fare? The fare was good. Enjoyed it. Rogers didn't like the fact that they don't have regular-sized corn dogs anymore. Hambone was a little miffed about that he had to buy I got him. I ended up buying the corn dog for him. It was only, the long corn dogs. He wanted a Hambone-sized corn dog, and all they had were Patrick-sized corn dogs. So he ate half of it, and then I had to eat the rest. Rogers, in some way, Rogers is a bit like my wife in that, going to eat off my plate. No, he never eats off my plate. But he may not finish his food, and then he's going to be like, here, you eat it. And now, actually, less like my wife and more like my kid. You know how kids would always do that? They'd eat like 3 nuggets, and you'd have to eat the other ones. That's kind of what Rogers is like. Fare was good, though. We didn't end up playing any of the games. We didn't want to buy an armband. Then you use the armband to do everything. So ended up being, we just didn't want to go through the hassle of doing that. So we ended up not playing the games. I ate a fried Twinkie and a fried Snickers. I'll give you the full report on those here in just a second. There's also a video of me eating the fried Snickers and the fried Twinkies that's up on the YouTube channel if you want to see that. So we did that. Had a great time, though. It was a lot of fun. And we walked maybe a little too far. Hambone's got the achy hips now. So, we get it. But we'll give you the full report when we come back. We'll stay on YouTube long enough to get that done, and then we'll sign off at YouTube. We'll be back.
Attention business owners, this is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-3009. 800-200-3009. That's 800-200-3009.
Afraid of monsters in the dark? There's nothing to fear. You'll have a monstrously fun time. Play Monster Money from the lottery. You could win up to $13,000. Play all 4 spooky scenes. So, for a heart-thrilling experience, stop in at any lottery retailer and ask for Monster Money with a top prize of $13,000. Be warned, it could be a frighteningly fun time. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Are you ready for some Halloween fun this weekend? Darkwoods Adventure Park is located off I-49 in Natchitoches, and they want you to join them this weekend. Buy a half-price Fast Pass on Seize the Deal and join the fun. Darkwoods offers 2 attractions with an ever-changing, fun-filled Halloween experience, including roaming creatures of the night and mayhem guaranteed to give you a fright. Seize the Deal with your Fast Pass for only $25. Take advantage of this offer and skip the long lines at the Darkwoods Adventure Park, located right off I-49 in Natchitoches on University Parkway.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, save up to $800 on select major appliances, plus save an extra $100 on select laundry pairs. And there's more. Bring home pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $49 because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 10/31. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
It's time for the main course with Rogers Hampton. Here's your host, Patrick Netherton.
Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger, Rogers and Patrick. All right, so Hambone and I did go to the fair. Hambone had a half a corn dog because he didn't like the long corn dog. He wanted the short corn dog. They don't make those anymore. At least nowhere we saw. They make regular size corn dogs. They're all the big boys, which I like personally. The corn dog was good. It wasn't the best corn dog I've ever had, but it was fine. The fried Twinkie and the fried Snickers were both really good. I enjoyed them both. The issue with a fried Twinkie is there's not really enough goo. There's not going to be Rogers. There's not going to be a good way to say that. There's not enough filling because when you eat it, it's really dry, right? Because it's dough. It's batter, dough, fried around dough. And then, and if you've ever eaten just a regular Twinkie, you know the creamy filling, there's not a lot of it, right? It's usually in just kind of one little spot. You kind of get to that one spot, and then that's where it is. The rest of it is kind of just cake. So what I found was when I ate the Twinkie, is all of the cream filling actually ended up at the bottom. So I ate most of it, and it was mostly just fried cake, which is fine. It's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have any liquid. Like there's nothing in there that's liquid at all. And so I got to the very end, and then the creamy frosting is leaking out of the back end. So yeah, I mean, if I had one criticism of the Twinkie, it's that the cream filling leaks out the back end, Rogers. I think that's the one, I would say that's the one real criticism I have. It's mostly this cake, and then, there's just not enough cream filling, really, in the fried Twinkie. Fried Snickers was a little bit better because the chocolate kind of melts, and so you get a little bit more of the filling. It's a little more moisture involved, right? It's still it's kind of gooey, and it's a little sticky, and there's all of that going on, but it's And there's nuts in there as well. So that's actually kind of a weird surprise. When you're eating something that's like a fried dough item, you don't expect to have that crunch of nuts in there. But the peanuts are in there. The caramel's in there as well. But because the chocolate kind of melts a little bit, it gives you that moisture. It's still, it still kind of clings to your mouth. It's not exactly like, it's not refreshing. But I think I come out on the side of the fried Snickers. I think I like the fried Snickers better than I like the fried Twinkie. I think if the Twinkie had more of the cream filling, I would have enjoyed it better. But there was not enough of it. So it was mostly kind of dry cake, and then again, the cream filling comes out the back end, and that's not what you want. Although the last bite was delicious. The last bite was perfect because it had all the cream filling in it. All right, we'll say